Absolutely rounds it out.
Okay, but if mixed drinks aren't your thing, maybe you're more interested in what our resident wine guru, Haley Hamilton, has to say. Take a look.
Texas native Mac McDonald had a vision of making high-quality Pinot Noir in California, and today he calls Sonoma County home for his fantastic Vision Cellars Pinot Noirs. And he often, though, finds his way back to Texas, and he joins us here today to talk about some of these wines. Hi, Mac.
How you doing?
I'm so glad you're here. Mac and I have actually been friends for quite some time, so I'm just thrilled to be here to bring these wines and to have Mac tell us a little bit about his story. My main question, though, is how does the son of a Texas moonshiner find his way to Northern California to make wine?
Well, you know, when I was 12 years old, growing up in the sticks of Texas, East Texas, particularly around Fairfield, Oakwood, Butler, I happened to stumble up on a bottle of wine, a bottle of Burgundy. I didn't know Burgundy from Chardonnay from Zin for nothing. But these guys gave me this bottle of wine when I was 12 years old, and I figured out how to open it, and from that point on, I said I wanted to be a winemaker. Keep in mind, they didn't have Child Protective Service back in those
back in the day. That could be a little bit interesting.
Yeah, they didn't have that. So that's how I really got my start. I said I wanted to be a winemaker. And from that point on, my high school coach says, you know, if you want to make wine, you need to move to California. So that's why right out of high school, I moved from Texas to California and learned how to make wine.
So why Pinot Noir in particular?
Well, you know, that's interesting. I mean, the first wine I had was a Burgundy, and like I said, I didn't know Burgundy from a Zin, from a Chardonnay. But I kind of figured out real quickly that if you didn't live in Napa Valley and you didn't, you know, craft for Cabernet, you wasn't going to be known very well in the business in the 60s and 70s. So I figured out Burgundies had been around for a long time. Getting a little education, I found out that Burgundy and Pinot are the same grape, you know, just call it Burgundy in the Burgundy region, and Pinot Noir is everywhere else. And I figured if I could make a good Pinot Noir, that I could compete against the big dogs of the world in the wine business. That was, you know, logic and reason behind it. Yeah.
Kind of the idea. Well, and you have sourced your grapes for quite a few years. You're almost 20 years old. You're 18 years old this year, correct? The winery is.
Yeah, I'll be 21 this year, but I got to add, you know, 50-something years to that. I'll be actually be 71. I'll be 71 this year. You know, my mom will probably be watching this, so I can't get out of that.
I know, but the winery's been around for almost 20 years,
yeah,
right?
20 years, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and you've been sourcing your grapes for quite some time, and you have amazing relationships with some of the best wine growers, grape growers in California. How did that kind of happen?
Well, you know, once we started out crafting wines out of Marin County, which is kind of an unknown area, but we got some of the master sommeliers of the United States involved with that program, and they liked it. But you know, once you get on certain wine lists and start getting all these points from these spectators and stuff, then the growers will come to you and say, hey, would you make wine from my vineyard? That's basically
That's got to feel good. That's got to be a nice feeling to know.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you have kind of a house style, or is there anything that you're trying to, though all the vineyards are different, is there anything that you try to maintain throughout all of your different wines?
Yeah, I try to maintain the, you know, the real vineyard. I want to bring the vineyard into the glass. In other words, different soil / dirt tastes different, sun hit it different, therefore you're going to get different flavors. So I want to bring the flavor of that vineyard into this glass.
Nice.
And keep the alcohol as low as I can, because I'm figuring out that low alcohol goes better with food for me, although I drink more wine without food than I do with. I want to keep that in mind.
Exactly, you know? Isn't that the beauty of it? Yeah. Well, and okay, so speaking of, let's go ahead and try some. We have 3 of your different Pinots here, but we've got one in particular in your glass. We have your Rosellas and Garys, but then we have a blend of both of those in our actual glass, correct?
Yes, what we have here is we have a blend of the Garys, Rosellas, and another vineyard down there called Los Arturos, which was owned by the Wagner family who owned Caymus. And so I blend those 3 together to create what we have here. because I've been practicing on this on myself for the last 4 or 5 years.
That's very nice.
And I finally think I got it, perfected. I think the last time you guys was in California, we
Cheers.
tried a little bit of this on you guys, and now we releasing it in 2011.
It's wonderful. Well, and then you also have your you're growing grapes now. You have Miss Lil. Hi, Miss Lil. We love Mac's wife, Lil. And so you actually have a vineyard that's named in her honor.
Yes, and that's in Sonoma County, Russian River Valley. And so that vineyard is about 7 years old now. So we craft and wine out of that. We craft 3 wines. We do a rosé from around the edge of the vineyard, don't get a lot of sun. And then we do a Miss Lil's designated, and then the rest of it, we put in a Sonoma County blend. So
Wonderful.
it's all
Wonderful,
good.
wonderful. Well, you can find Mac's wines at Siegel's is carrying a handful of them, as well as at Mac's website, visioncellars.com. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Cheers.